So our next speaker tonight is Anthony Williams, who is the Director of Education at the Oasis Foundation. Anthony's been in education for over 20 years, including 14 of those as a senior leader. His last headship was at Oasis Academy Enfield during the pandemic, and due to his fantastic work leading that school and transforming it, he was promoted to Regional Director for South London and Kent. He's also coaching aspiring head teachers and keen to work with school leaders to improve provision and outcomes. Without further ado, Anthony.
Thank you, evening everyone. First and foremost, I want to thank Manju and all the people who do so much of the hard work behind the scenes, all the organising and so on. I mean, it's a huge task, and all those who have been supporting behind the scenes as well. I mean, I've always got a default for young people, having been in education for the number of years I have, and well done to all of you who have stepped up and been announcing and introducing people as well. So, a few words from me. If you usually say someone's a director of education, usually it's just a title, what sits behind that. Really, it's the majority of what I do is probably around school improvement, and then there's a percentage of that which is governance. We kind of spread over London, so I kind of oversee schools, secondary schools in, I think, 4 different boroughs, Croydon being one of them, Lambeth, Lewisham, Greenwich, and a few others. But the bit about the role that I like more than anything is when I can get into schools. And when I can get into schools and work with head teachers and senior leaders and go into lessons and so on. And that's really where the love of the role comes out, and the governance is probably less enjoyable for me. There's a really quick funny story I'll share with you. When I first came into this role, I remember there was, as I like doing, I'll go into lessons and I'll come out, and obviously young people are very inquisitive. And so a group of young people came and they were speaking to me when I was in the playground, and just came up, and you know, young people, they're not backwards in coming forwards. So they just, who are you? So I kind of said, oh, I work with Miss Green, who's a head teacher. I said, oh, I work with Miss Green. So it's like, well, that for them, that's not definitive enough. So what do you do with it? Well, you know, we work. I work with her and the leadership team and so on. Yeah, so what are you? What do you do? And I'm trying to find the easiest way to explain. So well, I'm her boss. You're her boss? I said, yeah. I said, and they all looked at each other and she goes, she's got a boss. So you're the boss? So I said, yeah. So then they looked at each other and then went, can we talk to you? I said, yeah, of course you can talk to me. We want to change the school uniform. We want to go on holiday somewhere. We want to do so. I said, well, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And so that's the really enjoyable bit with the engagement with young people. The less favourable bit is where it comes to the governance. And one of the roles I have to do is I have to chair panels for permanent exclusions. So I have to go through packs, and if you don't know that the process of having to permanently exclude a child, it's legal. So a school has to ensure that there are legal statutes that have been met, and it has to be proportionate, and it has to be procedurally correct, and a number of different things. So when I sit with a panel and we decide that, and we go through these packs, I think the link that I make with this is the fact that when I go through the packs, and then when we meet as a panel, and the family are there, and the young child and the young person is there, about this life-changing decision, because for a child to have to be permanently excluded from school is a life-changing decision that's been made by the head teacher. And so we're bound by these things to make sure that they are fair and they're proportionate and they're procedurally correct and they're legal. But the thing which links with what you're doing, Manju, and others who have come and spoke, and it was resonated throughout the panel as well earlier, was the fact that there's so many layers of trauma that young people and the family are experiencing or have experienced. They haven't reached their just by chance, and it's deep, and it needs a lot of individuals and people that probably haven't done as well for that young person and family as they should have done. So sometimes we have to overturn it, and we have to overturn those, because we go back to the schools and the leaders and say, you haven't done enough for this young person. There's more that could have been done, and there's more that should have been done. And that's sometimes around that wraparound care, which is about the great work that you guys are doing, and equally when you are speaking to the therapists and the GPs, and a number of the different people who work around the family and the family support. We have a fantastic family support network that works within our organisation called Encounter, and they give real hands-on support to families who are finding things really, really difficult, whether they have experienced stuff, and those who are on the fringes of knife crime and being influenced into gangs and crime and you know, peer-on-peer crime and so on. So my message is a really simple one, in to say that please, 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 if you have a friend, a relative, a son, a nephew, a niece, whatever relative you have, please always try to look out for those people who can provide some wraparound care. There's some fantastic mentors and organisations that do stuff, and sometimes when you're in it, you can feel very, very overwhelmed that everybody's against you and nobody is for you. But there are some fantastic organisations and people, such as the work that you do, Manju, who do support children and young people and families, to avoid us having to be in a position where we know what the statistics are like when young people are out of education and out of schools as well. And as I say, please just be on the front foot to look out for and signpost people to that, because it cannot be just the schools that do it. We need everybody within the community to help keep our young people safe, enable them to finish their education, get good outcomes, and have a good life ahead of them. Thank you for your time.